like I said before, once we got to ENTP 718, we're entering like neutral ground really. ENTJs were neutral, but then a lot of times they like to hear what I have to say, and they'll sort of implement that into something useful. Like if I have any cool information or something that's important, then they'll take that and turn that into something, which I really appreciate. ENTPs really appreciate people who appreciate our intelligence. So we're real cool with ENTJs, I would say, but not, they're not the top level, but I mess with them, so they're cool. They're cool. Next is ISTP. They're also sometimes a hit and miss because I can get into it with some of them, but a lot of the times when I do get into it with some of them, it's bad. But then when I don't, it's really interesting, our interaction. They will often, we'll come together and I can come up with an idea. We'll be messing around, shooting the shit, that type of stuff, and then I'll come up with an idea, and next thing you know, I ask them to do something that has to do with the idea, and they're on it. So they're really resourceful. And when it comes to if an ENTP, if anybody really has some type of vision that they want to accomplish, and you need somebody to go to, I would say ISTP for sure, because they're going to look it up, they're going to research, they're going to figure out what to do next, they're going to help you out, and they have no bones about it, as if they just want to do it just for the sake of doing it. So now once we get to ISTP level, I would say we're starting to enter sort of like, this is where I would say loyalty comes into play, because these guys, I would say, are loyal to, they're like a backbone for if you want to pursue something, and I find that to be sort of a loyal type of trait. They'll keep helping you. So moving on to the like people, and like I would say who's like it's like the loyalty aspect. INFJ comes next, because I made a video on this. There's an INFJ girl that I met a long time ago. Or actually, it was like last year, but I met her and I was literally, I lived next door to a guy. He shot a guy, and the guy, or he shot. It was. I'm not gonna get too into that because it's just I don't want to do it. But there was gunfire. There was, you could hear contact. You could hear all the stuff, loud noises and everything. Next thing I hear, the guy, his friend is asking me like, or he's asking my neighbor like, oh, the guy next door here, he might have wanted to kill me. That's what I'm getting at. But anyway, I needed to go to my house to get my stuff because I left after that. I was like, I'm leaving. INFJ told me I needed to get some stuff. I needed some paperwork, and I was like, I'm not going. And she said, well, come on. And I was like, where? I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean, come on? She's like, we're going to go get your papers. I'm taking you to your house. And so I would definitely put INFJs up there because they're courageous and they will definitely be loyal to you to this day. She still keeps in contact, and yeah, we're still close. So they're definitely high up there on that list. Next would be ESFP. ESFP, man. I grew up with ESFP. My homeboy Trey, he was a very loyal friend. He did a lot of stupid shit. ESFPs will do that. As they're younger, they'll explore and do all this types of crazy stuff, but guess what? ENTPs like to explore too. And so we were very much so similar in a sense to where we would like to go about life in an exploratory sort of game type of way. It was like a game. We did things like, crashing parties to, we had each other's backs if we got into it with people, and we just, talk to girls, stuff like that. So, and it's always just there. In fact, whenever there was tough times in the home, whenever I thought, I may have to, I was thinking I was going to run away or whatever. I was like, hey man, like you can get your stuff and get your stuff, we're gonna run away. We're gonna, go and dip out of here. So they're all about that, man. If you're in a tough time or tough situation, You need a close friend that's going to be there. I would say ESFP is definitely down to ride. So ESFP up there for sure. Um, another one is ENFP. So another one is ENFP, which I might want to change that. I sort of have a bias towards this because my little brother, he's an ENFP. But yeah, ENFPs, we're just, so the thing about being an ENTP 8-wing-7, I really, really admire the innocence in people, you know, because I have that 2 factor. I may look like a 2 a lot of times, and that's the thing that about me is that being an 8, I want to protect my innocence. Not saying that I'm, you know, completely innocent, but you know, everybody has a, you know, a past or whatever. But ENFPs, they remind me of the people who are still like, you know, life has its negative sides and it has its bad things about it, but they're like the shining light. The people who are just, you know, truly good, and they just want to be good. They just want to be free and good. They just want people to be, others to be free and to enjoy their time and to enjoy their company, and that goes right along well with me. And being an ENTP 8-wing-7, you know, it's a SJ world, and it's a very non-chaotic world, a world that does not like. I'm not geared towards, you know, being in favor, you know, when it comes to what you would consider to be good necessarily. People don't consider ENTPs to be good. So whenever, and that's not necessarily their fault, but at the same time, it's not ENTPs. You know, ENTPs, they do stupid stuff. At the same time, though, it's sort of like how we have to go through life in order to learn, and it's really tough. But whenever you have people like ENFPs who can just see, they just want to see good, then it's very helpful and it's very uplifting. Because there's a lot of times when even ENTPs can get down, even though they may seem like the clowns and the jokers of the MBTI, you know, society, we're definitely capable of being hurt. And trust me on that, because being an 8, yeah, you got to go through some stuff in order to be an 8 when you're an ENTP. So, yeah, I would say ENFPs are next. Now, this is where it gets a little mixed up, because for my next one, I put down INFP female, because INFP females, I feel like they're kind of similar in a sense to ENFPs, to where they may see the bright side of the negative, to where they may see my sort of aggressiveness and my negativity as maybe just a shell. And it's true. They see right through me, and they're able to understand where I'm coming from and break that barrier. And then next is ENFJ females, which is the same, but they're just genuinely trying to make everybody happy. It's the same thing. They do, honestly, it's not even their fault. It's not ENFJ male's fault that they're on the bottom of this list for me, and it's not ENFJ female's fault that they're at the top. They do the same things. It's just that one is a female, one is a male. So I don't mind necessarily if a female were to do the same thing, but it's just if a male does it, then it's kind of just irritating to me, because there's nothing that I don't want to be that close, you know. So I don't see the connection. I'm not a social. I'm SP, SX. I have a barrier. If you can get through that barrier, and I'm close, and that's the only person I really want to be close to. So that's why they're up there. And then next is ESFJ female. ESFJ females are up there because every time I would say I have every time I, you know, really get to know one, it's really a great connection, and it's like the happiest I could be. It's the happiest that I've been usually, as whenever it's an ESFJ female. They're very caring, they're very nurturing. They tend to, being an 8, even though I'm not sensory dominant, I'm not SE dominant, I still like to live in that type of world towards like you're experiencing, and they're also all about FE, and I do like FE stuff. So we're usually well together as friends. A lot of times I would like there to be more, and as you know, sometimes things don't work out, but it's cool. Yeah, ESFJ females are, I would say they are the second second best is what I would say. Yeah, really great experience. They're also known in socionics as my activity partner, and I like to do a lot of activities. So now, number one, if you guys haven't guessed it by now, it's because you haven't been keeping track. But last one that's left is none other than the ESTP. ESTPs, to me, are like a breath of fresh or a breath of fresh air. Because being an ENTP 8-wing-7, like I said before, it's mainly just a lot of times I'm seen as such a I'm a bad guy, you know. So ESTPs, they're not really with all the, they don't like things to be too harmonious. They like things to be sort of moving around. They like to be in the moment, in the here and now. They like to be active. They like to stir the pot. They like to do all the stuff that ENTPs do, ENTP 8-wing-7s, but they're better at the sensory. And so anytime that I want to go and like do something that I may not be good at, they'll go right with me and we'll go push through and we'll have a good time. They'll show me how to have a good time for once, as opposed to me being the energetic one. I can be the one being shown how to have a good time, how to exert your energy, how to do all that crazy stuff, you know, which is really fun. Also, I would say ESTPs and ENTPs are similar in the sense to where we don't like being controlled, and we also have a similar language. What I mean by that is often whenever ESTPs and ENTPs may say something, that may mean something else. And it's not necessarily that they're not really lying. It's just that we interpret it as, oh, that person knows that I may mean something else. Well, that's not the case. A lot of times with other MBTI types, if an ENTP says something and means one other thing, they're not going to know. But if I say something and I mean something else, an ESTP most likely know. And the same thing goes for them. If they say something and means something else, I know they don't, you know, I'm not going to take it at face value. We have the same language. And that's what I really like about them, is just that I'm able to take a break from being the, you know, the one that everybody can't stand because I have too much energy or I'm too assertive or this or that. They praise my energy. The ENFP and the ENFJ, they sort of help me out to become different, but ESTPs, they praise who I am already, and they really appreciate who I am. And that goes for male and female. So I would say my number one type would most likely be ESTP. Yeah, hands down. That's basically it. Thank you guys for watching. If you like the video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.